But we're about to hop into another series. It's going to be Team Liquid. They will be returning. It's going to be great to watch them play once again. They currently lead 2-1 over that of Charlotte Phoenix. So Team Liquid, we had a chance to watch them. I think you boys casted it over XSET, right? And they suffered those 2 early losses in map 1. The Team Liquid started to heat up. They're playing with Fun, and Fun has been a wonderful addition to this roster overall on set.
Oh, 100%. He really was doing work earlier. And I'm really interested in this series because with all due respect to XSET, you know, not a full Apex Legends professional lineup, whereas Charlotte Phoenix, you know, all these players grind week in, week out. They've been part of the LGS. They've been, you know, really putting in good performances. So this is a real test for Team Liquid. And I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
T-Square, talk to me about Charlotte Phoenix. Obviously, we're just hopping into the series. We don't know how it's been turning out outside of just the score being 2-1, but Charlotte Phoenix, Light on set just said, you know, a little bit more reputable in terms of Apex history than that of the XSET team outside of BCJ. But what can we expect from Charlotte Phoenix?
They're a pretty difficult team to deal with. They're kind of unpredictable, and honestly, they're a consistent team too. So you can't overlook the skill factor that they have, but they've always been a team to me that they've been really good at team fighting, but I really feel like the BR style is more their style. I want to see how they fare in the arenas, but the reason that they're so good is because of, I think they're great at, you know, individual skill, teamwork, and their strategy. I want to see how they apply their strategy to arenas.
It's interesting, Onset. He says individual skill, BR heavy, but when you think about Garden, which is the map that we're going to be heading into, you normally have those massive just headbutts that take place specifically in that one building. We've seen a lot of slaying power from Team Liquid earlier. Could this be the undoing of Charlotte Phoenix? Maybe they're not going to be as comfortable in those close quarter fights?
Quite possibly. However, even though it is a close quarter fight, I feel like sometimes they're some of the most skillful, especially if you've got a wingman in your hand or you've got a bubble to fight around. You know, your positioning, your ability to hit your flicks, your ability to switch targets at the moment's notice is so vital. And that is when you see some of the biggest, most individually skilled plays is in and around those bubbles, in and around those tight quarters. So for me, it's going to be an interesting map for sure. I love the close range fights. I think they're some of my favorite moments, especially inside those bubbles in Apex, so we'll have to see how it goes. I genuinely don't know how this one will roll.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? On set, T-Square, take it away.
Thank you so much. Tom, how do you think this one's going to go? I've given my opinion. Team Liquid versus Charlotte Phoenix. 2-1 to Team Liquid, I believe, is the score. They need one more map to close it out. Can they get it done here?
On paper, you would say that Team Liquid's been together as a duo longer, and they've just, you know, I would say a little bit more reputable in terms of their placings than Charlotte Phoenix. Charlotte Phoenix has been placing inside of the top 10, inside of the top 5, but with a variety of different rosters. Taking a look at what they have right now, down 2-1, I'd have to give the advantage to Liquid, but I really think that you can't count out the Charlotte Phoenix squad as we take a look at Stink, Kotigami, and Greek God. Stink is a very well-rounded slayer. If he hits his shots, definitely going to be a nuisance to deal with on the Liquid side, but he also has to hit his clammers, so he's going to try that left-hand side, a little bit luckier.
Just deliberate stutter step, that's all it is. That's what I call it whenever I miss that. Shot's going to hit with the wingman. The 45 is going to do a little bit of damage initially, but you can see that Greek and Stink both going to be forced to pop some cells here, and obviously in that first round or so, we're not going to have too much damage being too many heals to work with, so that initial damage is going to be amplified on its importance to both of these teams. It looks like a little bit of a switch of positions here. It looks like Team Liquid have moved away from these buildings here, Tom, and actually going to be playing down on this low ground a little bit more.
Yeah, so this is something that's fairly common. If you're not able to get to that high ground and you're not comfortable taking that fight, maneuver down towards the low ground, wait for your opportunity. Again, what you're trying to do is just find out who the impatient player on the opposite team is, because sometimes there's always that one player, right? Back in Halo, we would wait for Shockwave to just make a mistake on Team Carbon when we were playing on Straight Rip, and he would just be so impatient after 2 or 3 minutes of a stalemate, he'd just full send it. Or maybe it was like the neighbor flank over in down towards the runway where you just know he's going to get impatient. And that's what you're waiting for here in Apex. One player, whether it's baiting out like Stink's doing right now and waiting for Nocturnal to make a move, they find that connection. And now Fun has to try to cover things with the Sentinel.
Speaking of connections, there was a good one there with that Sentinel. 88 damage going to be done. There's a wingman going to be exchanging pretty much the same amount of damage as well. However, there is Fun once more with the Sentinel. Hits one, hits two. Don't do it, Fun. Please don't do it. I mean, people are watching right now as GreekGod will jump out to the skies and finally slow down FunFPS. But I tell you what, those Sentinel shots there were absolutely disgusting. It comes down now to a 2v1 situation. Unfortunately, it looks like will be the end here for Flanker. He's trying to make this one work, but it's not enough. But I mean, that was a heck of a round as far as flashy plays were concerned, but Charlotte Phoenix will take it home.
Fun is making a Sentinel montage here for our UMG Arenas tournament. I mean, ridiculous plays. He's hitting for 88, 88, just non-stop. I mean, can you buy 2 Sentinels? Is that possible? No, it's not.
Could always buy one and drop it for him, to be honest. That might be the play, to be honest with you. The amount of shots that he is hitting is something to behold. It seems like any angle, he just manages to find a body ahead. It does not matter, but even though he's hitting these crazy shots, he's been forced to hit crazy shots because of the pressure from Charlotte Phoenix. So that is the round to them. They will take a 1-0 lead, and for all the good stuff that Fun managed to do with that Sentinel in hand, it wasn't enough.
Now everyone's going to go battle for this high ground. You can see the huge advantage that you have for the high ground is the animation to clamor is making you so vulnerable that you just can't afford to do that. So now Liquid is going to realize the situation, smoke out, back off. Even though they had some great damage onto Stink, he's going to be able to regenerate that, hits the battery, and is going to have that passive health as well. But very similar situation that we had in round number 1.
Liquid now trying to make a little bit of a rotation here towards the left-hand side, or I should say the southern side here of Gardens. A few shots going to be exchanged there. The flatline only going to tickle. It's not going to do too much damage as Kotigami now will drop down and manages to get that battery off. But like you mentioned, Tom, pretty similar setup, similar setup even to what we saw in that round 1. And Sting now going to be hit with some shots once more. And Fun finally putting that Sentinel away, and he's got the flatline in his hands now.
Say similar setup with the Sentinel 10 times fast. Good luck. Nocturnal is going to go down. Stink, will they be able to answer? Actually, they do with GreekGod getting knocked, but Greek actually puts so much damage that it gives an advantage right now on over to Charlotte Phoenix. There's the flush, though. It's so important to get these flushes, not just in arenas, but hey, ranked players, pub players, flush your kills so they can't give information to the teammates that are on running around.
Whew. Headshot from Kotigami is going to do a lot of damage, and now he's trying to collapse and try and close in to make sure that they can take advantage of that damage, but FunFPS is going to be taken down, which leaves Flanker now in a difficult 2v1 situation. He can't quite get the finish on that kill as well to turn it into a 1v1.
Wow.
And Charlotte Phoenix once more collapse on the advantage and take a 2-round lead now here on Gardens.
They're not happy with my prediction, and you could see that. The thing is that Team Liquid is getting caught off guard, but you could see what happens when you have to clamber up. I mean, just dropping right there into the water to try to finish that kill was the death of Team Liquid. There was nothing that you can do once you have to clamber back up into 2 pro players. They're going to turn right back around, you know, even if they're one shot. It's very similar to having to kick in the door, right? You don't want to kick in the door against these top players. You'll end up getting stuck with an arc star, even 8 to the face a couple of times, and you'll lose a majority of your health. Interestingly enough, they don't throw the jump pad a little bit earlier, and now they actually are going to lose a little bit of the high ground because the zip line gets responded with, and that's what we're talking about with these door plays. Look at the damage coming in from Stink, but a flank around the corner comes through as well, as Kotigami is going to get a knock. Flanker and Nocturnal now trying to put the hurting onto the last player alive. Mozambique, is it going to connect? Both players flesh damage. Nocturnal trying to take down the last player alive. This is such a tight race.
Kotigami's going to be able to get out of dodge, though, and get the battery off, which is might give him the timing advantage here, although Nocturnal manages to get one off as well. Kotigami now choosing to hit the medkit to get back up to full HP, so it's a straight 1v1 between these 2 players. Nocturnal just below hit. Kotigami maybe thinking about using that grenade to blow that door off and get another angle. Nocturnal now going to be taking to get that high ground, like you mentioned. And now Kotigami in all sorts of trouble, but the 71 headshot is going to turn things around, but only for a moment as Liquid clutch up and Flanker manages to just about take home the round for Liquid.
Man, losing that from the high ground would have been extremely demoralizing. The shots after that 71 headshot, I was so concerned for Team Liquid, but it's just a major mistake right there from Stink to drop down and try to get this grenade. Does not make any sense. Look at how easy this angle is for Nocturnal, and the shots weren't that amazing, but look at the little head glitch and the little wall bounce, or not the wall bounce, just a little head peek back and forth right there, using that roof to just the full max capacity. And you really wouldn't expect all of those shots to connect like that, and you wouldn't expect to take so much damage. It was a scary situation, but Team Liquid stays alive in this round. If they win this map, it's game over. Charlotte Phoenix fighting for their tournament life right now.
The Team Liquid clutching up, and it was Nocturnal, clutching up. I misspoke a little bit earlier. I said it was Flanker, but the shots, it doesn't matter what Liquid member it is. If you're a Liquid fan, as they get that job done. The smoke's coming out here from Liquid as well, from the Bangalore, and they do have those digi threats as well, so that's going to give them an advantage. But the advantage is only one thing, as they will lose Nocturnal. 2v2 now between Charlotte Phoenix and Liquid. Kotigami going to be flanked from behind, but he'll hit some beautiful shots. And now, once again, it's a 1v1. Greek trying to finish off this kill, but can't quite manage to get it done. Will he drop down on the Pathfinder, dodging and weaving behind this pole? Can he get the battery off? And now he's going to take the high ground.
Most likely going to drop right back down. Did he hit a battery throughout all this? He did behind the pillar. How much flesh meds did he have? Greek's looking fairly healthy. Going to switch to the wingman and connect. It's going to be Charlotte Phoenix taking it, and we're going to go to a final map here.
Keep it going. Keep this one going. Charlotte Phoenix managed to take things home. What a final battle that was. The 1v1 was certainly going to be a nervy one there for Charlotte Phoenix, knowing that they had to win the round and they had to win that map in order to keep things going, but a perfect finish. I love the 1v1 scenarios that Arena throws up. It's one of my favorite things. Everyone loves the 1v1, right?
And no third party out there.
No, and that's the beautiful thing, right? I mean, it's pure. It's literally pure just mechanics. That play from Nas or from Greek was nasty. Yo, like that was the bait out the revive as he did, and then ultimately to get that. Hey, I asked a question on set, as we were hopping in. I was like, look, the Charlotte Phoenix, is this map going to benefit them? Because just, it's going to be a brawl at that building, and clearly they handled it with stride. So we're going to a map 5, and I do believe our first map 5 on broadcast, if I'm not mistaken. So, hey, that's going to be a good one. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're heading into map 5 between Team Liquid and Charlotte Phoenix. Welcome back, everybody, to UMG Champions Apex Legends Arena $10,000 Invitational. We are hopping in pretty much last minute into this series of Team Liquid versus Charlotte Phoenix, but it's definitely not been a disappointing one by any means. We see Team Liquid in the first 2 maps take Overflow and Thermal Station. It looks as if things are looking, a bit bleak for Charlotte Phoenix, but then they go on to win Phase Runner. We had a chance to watch Gardens, and now that leads us to Artillery, which is going to be map number 5. And I do believe in this pool, both teams are respectively 1-0. So this is very well a match that could guarantee you a spot in the bracket play tomorrow. So obviously an important one, and we're going to be loading in very shortly. But on set, T-Square, first we'll start with you on set. Predictions for map 5. Who do you think is going to take it?
Absolutely no idea. That's all I got to give you. I mean, what else do you want me to say?
That's
one team was 2-0 up, now it's 2-2. It's game 5. I don't know. Like, it can go anywhere. I don't know. I'm going to go with Liquid. I'm going with Liquid. I'm going with Liquid. I'm being honest.
Going Liquid?
You'll never get a trophy on set.
Always laughs.
You'll never get a trophy.
Okay, but first and foremost, no. I got a bone to pick with both of you. Don't ever roast my trophy again. $5 Pokemon trophy or whatever you want to call it. It's still a trophy, and that means I'm still a champion of something. I'm not a champion like you on set or T-Squared, but I'm a champion at least in something. Okay, hey, that means something at least. Check it out, boys. It's going to be a great matchup. Game 5, T-Squared, real quick. Who do you think takes it?
I really think that I have to go with my original prediction, which was Team Liquid, but Charlotte Phoenix, it's tough. It's tough, man. Still 51% right. Team Liquid, 51%.
All tournament long. All right, on set, T-Squared, take it away.
Thank you very much. I've got to be honest. I think Roast My Trophy sounds like some sort of dodgy website that will get my ISP shut down immediately. But let's move on from the trophy. The trophy talk is done. Let's talk about Game 5, Tom, because it's Liquid versus Charlotte Phoenix, and it is Game 5, and it all comes down to this. We're heading over to Artillery.
I'm dead. I can't. I can't right now. Yeah, so obviously we have a huge advantage right now to Charlotte Phoenix based on momentum, but was that break what Team Liquid needed to kind of reset over here? Just like Reflection's talking about, this win will guarantee you move on to the next round, and especially when you're all tied up in one of the last matches of the night, you want to take this one. You want to be feeling good about the rest of the night. Big grenade right there on the Stink. And that's something that we haven't seen is an early grenade purchase. We've been seeing a lot of resources going to cells, batteries, healing, etc. But now more grenades being used on this artillery map.
Yeah, this is something that I was talking about a little bit earlier. I think as more games get played here of arenas with our top players in the world, that will be something which will be vital to opening strategy. And you can already see here the amount of damage it got done. And it's also kind of forced a lot of the Charlotte Phoenix players, well, all three of them now, to be bunched up. And if there was another grenade available, that would be absolutely huge.
Call
but
fuse.
Looks like Fun is going to be dropping down here and picking up a care package and might be able to get away with a little bit of extra weaponry to work with. However, Kotigami, some of the angles he's taking with this wingman to get those shots off are absolutely sublime.
Yeah, really nice shots right there. It's not that easy to hit a player that's directly below you. Granted, that player was kind of running in a straight line, so it's not that difficult based on the trajectory of where the player is going to go. But you could see right now that Liquid is in a pickle. I mean, Nocturnal is away from the team. You have very hard angles being taken by the rest of Team Liquid. What's the play right here? I mean, they're playing the zone, and while that's happening, Nocturnal is going to be the one, since he has the ability to kind of stem back on over to where they're at. So I can see what they're going for right now, but I'm just a little bit worried on their positioning.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Charlotte Phoenix certainly have the high ground. The question is, do Charlotte Phoenix have the meds? And now you're going to see Liquid trying to take this high ground and take a isolated battle on those shots by Nocturnal. Absolutely superb. He manages to get the first knock here. And even though Liquid didn't look like they were in a great position to really have an effect on things here, now they do. And that's going to be 2 for Nocturnal. He'll pick up a couple with the wingman. Kotigami comes in, though, and he'll be the last player alive, manages to take down 1.
Yeah, and they have to clamber up. And look at that. The little shimmy on down is a double res over towards the high ground. Going to be popped while that's happening. Some cover going to be used. Fun's still alive, so I would love to see. This is a 2-on-2 situation. Actually, Kotigami, like a madman, is going to send it while weak. Flaker has no idea. They were able to res both players here. That's just an aggressive play from Charlotte Phoenix. Holy cow. I cannot believe that they pulled that out.
They did so well, especially after the initial damage. The 2 knocks coming in from Liquid, and they managed to force the player down off of height. They managed to get both of those reses up, and you have to wonder if Liquid you talked about their positioning a little bit earlier on there, Tom, just not able to capitalize on that damage as a 3 to make sure that Charlotte Phoenix were completely eliminated, and that was where things really turned around.
So I look at this map and I look at the strategy, and it's obviously situational, but you would think that Valkyrie would kind of accelerate on this map. The high ground is super crucial. Valkyrie's ability to get height is a passive ability, so you don't have to spend any resources on it, no credits or anything like that, as the big fat grapple is going to come through. Look at these shots. It's actually going to be fun getting dropped, and that is a interesting play coming through. That's going to give huge numbers on over to Charlotte Phoenix. They're going to take their time with this one. I'm curious if they thought that Team Liquid was helping throughout all of that, but Fun just overextending way further than he had to.
Yeah, just got caught off guard a little bit there, Fun. Nocturnal now going to be taking a little bit of damage. Here comes the flank as well, but there's a headshot from Flanker with the wingman in hand. Unfortunately for him, can't quite get that knock, even though 45 flesh damage is going to be done, and now he's left in a 3v1, and Charlotte Phoenix just slowly moving in, and they should be able to finish things off here. Flanker going to be down to pretty much 0 HP, and it will be Charlotte Phoenix who managed to get a 2-round advantage now, and that was all that opening kill, Tom. Just gave them that man advantage that they took advantage of.
I don't even know if Fun hit the proper grapple form to get on over towards that pill. He full sent it past that area. Typically when you hit that grapple, you want to slide directly into the bin and use the bin as cover so you can bail out to the backhand side over towards where the big buildings are if you actually need to, or these little circle things that are, well, not little, these are gigantic circles, I guess, that are sitting right in front of you. So I don't think that Fun meant to go do that here. Is you're going to see Kotigami go for a very similar strategy. You grapple right onto this right in front of you. I mean, you could hit the ground like that, but I like actually grappling onto the wall. If you grapple onto the wall, you can full send into the pill and go even further. It's just a couple extra steps, and you're going to freaking Thum across the map.
It looks like Charlotte Phoenix have managed to get control of those meds, and now you can see a little bit of a change up in weaponry here for Team Liquid. Back to that sniper setup that we saw them use successfully a little bit earlier on today against Xset, and something needed to change here, Tom, because 2-0 down to Charlotte Phoenix and staring down the barrel of losing a game 5. It's going to be now or never for them, really.
I feel like they're getting out teamworked right now, and that's something that's pretty surprising for a Team Liquid squad. We saw in the first round on this map, they had the numbers advantage. On the second time, it was a mental error from Fun, oversending it when he needed to, and now you're in a super tough spot. This round right here could determine all they needed to for Charlotte Phoenix. If they win this one, they are going to be 2-0 in this pool, which is going to almost secure #1 for them overall. And that's going to be huge for their confidence going into tomorrow, but Flanker says no. Takes down GreekGod to start things.
Manages to hit a 45 as well, and now Flanker has created a 2v3 situation here. He's going to smoke off that cross to make sure that he can isolate this player here on the truck, on the van, and now he's going to be making the move forward as well. The Pathfinder going to be ducking behind and managing to get the bat off, and now Flanker in a position where he had the advantage, but Kotigami turns it around. However, it looks like the rest of Team Liquid are there to clean things up, and finally Liquid get on the board here, Tom, and it was all thanks to, once again, that initial aggressive push to capitalize on the damage.
They're doing better on set when they hold the high ground and then they start to push on over towards these bunkers. I would like to see them kind of adapt that same strategy. When they went over towards the bunker originally, that's when they really struggled and Fun overextended and they got taken out fairly quickly. So in order to stop that, realize the situation, get some snipers, go on over towards the high ground, play a little bit of a different style. Obviously, going over towards the bunkers hasn't been working quite yet. So now they're going to make things interesting for Charlotte Phoenix as we're waiting to see exactly how Kotigami is going to approach this situation. There's the slide, and there's the correct way to go and approach that pill. You go directly behind it on over towards the side, and you avoid getting shot.
Liquid exchanging sides of the map here. You can see them up on the high ground as well on that broken wall. So Liquid doing what you said to do, Tom. Taking the high ground. This is where they've had their successes so far. And trying to look for that initial damage and then try and capitalize on it. Shots being exchanged between the two players on the zip line, but nobody able to really connect. And now Liquid looking to isolate one of those players who's just got out of position here, but just can't find anything to work with in the moment.
He's going to have to bail, but the thing is even if he took like ultimate height right there, on top of his building, that could have been a good spot to be because look, Stink just clambered up over towards the side, could have just lasered that guy. Instead, he's giving up a lot of real estate, and now Stink's gonna take an off angle, and they have to decide how they're gonna go about this. Are they gonna go for Stink, or are they gonna leave Stink and go for the other two teammates? That's the situation Liquid's in right now. And if you go for the other teammates, you have to hope that Stink in his off angle isn't absolutely lasering you with the wingman. Fortunately for them, the wingman, it's great in that situation, but something like a scout, maybe 33 with a 2x, something that's going to help close that gap with the distance that they have right now is going to be super strong for them. Instead, it's going to be a Devotion turbocharger, if I'm not mistaken, in the hands of Nocturnal. So this is what you're looking for Team Liquid.
Well, those shots from Stink are pretty good as well. Double 45 is going to be doing some damage, 90 in total. She's going to force Flanker to use one of those batteries that he's managed to bring into the battlefield here. The zone's going to be moving in pretty slowly as well, which is forcing our two teams together. Kotigami going to be using that grapple to get out of a little bit of danger here as Nocturnal now looking to take that high ground control along with FunFPS. And look like Fun had managed to get some damage done. However, it wasn't enough to get that knock, and now the Devo is going to be singing out. Two players exchanging. There's the nades to force them out of that ground, and now maybe the Devo is going to be the difference maker as Stink gets taken down, as does Kotigami.
There you go. I mean, I don't even think that Nocturnal realized how many shots he still had in that Devo after he ripped two players for almost all of their shields. I looked at the bottom right. He had 23 shots in the chamber, and he had 900 shots on reserve. The dude had almost 1,000 ammo. That's what comes in that Devotion. Imagine if that's what happened in Battle Royale. You picked up the turbocharged Devotion and it had 1,000 shots.
I'm stopping you. I'm cutting your sentence off. That's a nightmares
Respawn,
tonight.
can we get an update, please, on my birthday?
Yeah, care package drops 1,000. Oh my! I don't even want to finish the sentence. Anyway. Back to normality, back from the realms of fiction. It's 2-2. in this game, and an opportunity here for one of Liquid or Charlotte Phoenix to take an advantage and maybe put themselves onto match point and also a series point as well. Hopefully that isn't what I think it is. Good news. It's just a map fly through coming now as we're looking to get back into it and get into our next round. But unfortunately, I've heard in my ears, Tom, it's bad news. The server has unfortunately crashed, so we're going to have to wait for things to pick up again, for the lobby to get sorted, and for us to get our conclusion of what was a lot of fun, that series, to be honest, to watch and commentate over.
That's a tough situation right there. I mean, we're going down to that final moment, but I'm sure these players are ready to get it underway.
And what are you going to do? Hey, what are you going to do? What you're going to do is give us a few minutes to get the lobby set back up. We're going to go for a quick break, and what you're also going to do is come back and join us for the conclusion of that amazing series. We're going to take that break. Like I mentioned, we'll be back in just a few moments. Don't worry. It's going to be hype. I promise you. Game 5. Welcome back, everybody, once more to the UMG Champions Apex Legends $10,000 Arena Invitational. And what a time to jump in if you're just joining us. 2-2 in the series between Team Liquid and Charlotte Phoenix, and more importantly, 2-2 in our deciding Game 5. T-Squared alongside myself on set, and we are already seeing damage being exchanged between the two teams.
Yeah, and keep in mind that the finals are going to be tomorrow. First place is $5,000, and you know what? More importantly, you get to win Reflections Trophy. I think that's way more valuable than the $5,000. So these players are really starting to turn up now.
That is confirmed, by the way. He doesn't get a say. He's not here. So, yeah, I'm willing to give that away. But one thing that either of these teams are not going to be wanting to give away here, Tom, is that first kill. And you can see the Stink is having to pop a battery himself. And this is kind of the slower rounds that we see, right? Everyone's got those meds to play with. Everyone's got a little bit more economy to play with as well. And you can see the weaponry pretty much fully upgraded, as you would wish, as you would want to pick for both of these teams now. So if an advantage is struck, and taking advantage of that damage is going to be absolutely vital, as it always is. But at the moment, nobody really being able to get into position to create the play that will win the series.
And you can see the Digi-Threat grenade combination right now for Kotigami. The thing is both of those grenades, they force players off. But once this zone starts to close, you're going to really want those, and no one's able to capitalize with any damage throughout all this. But this is where the players start to get their ideal combination. They have all those credits like you're talking about on set, so it's interesting to see which combination everybody elects to go with. It's going to be the R301 EVA 8 for Nocturnal.
Nocturnal's going to have to pop a battery here. He's got melted just momentarily. Does have a syringe as well to use if he wants to. Ooh, Greek going to be popping around that corner and almost popping ahead there as well with that longbow, hitting for 60. There's a 48 as well, and there is the knock. On to knock. He goes down, and now Charlotte Phoenix with a 2v1 advantage, and that might just be 1v3 if he could have managed to hit that shot, but unfortunately for him, didn't manage to connect, and now looks like Liquid are in a little bit of disarray here.
Look at the grenade usage right now from Greek, forcing them off the spot. He is eating a little bit of damage from the ring, but it's not going to do that much. Fun gets a knock, but that's all she wrote for Team Liquid. And now Charlotte Phoenix on match point here. What a round. I mean, Nocturnal was just so out of position. I don't think that he realized it's easier when you're casting and you see all positions from all six players, but he was basically bait for all three players there on Charlotte Phoenix by being up on top of that. Yes, he had an angle on all three players himself, but it wasn't creating enough opportunity for his teammates. And then they said, okay, well, let's just focus this guy and take him down. That's exactly what they did. As soon as you turn your back to these top players, they are going to punish you. And you saw that's just 2 free shots for Stink in the back, and you wouldn't expect the longbow meta to work out for Charlotte Phoenix over Team Liquid when that's been Team Liquid's specialty.
Well, match point and series point here for Charlotte Phoenix, and what a result it would be to take down Team Liquid. Shots with that longbow aren't going to quite connect at the moment. Flanker trying to exchange with the wingman, and maybe that's not a fight he'll be looking to take too easily, but there's going to be the Bangalore smokes coming into effect. This is what I was talking about, playing against the sniper meta. Cut off those lines of sight. Make sure that player is momentarily blinded, Tom. And that's exactly what Flanker did with the smoke.
And they could do some crazy grenade strategies here. I mean, Flanker has a lot of different opportunities. Smoke comes up in a little bit. And here's the grenade advancement. We're talking about pushing players off. When you push them off, you use that to advance. And that's exactly what Flanker's doing. Textbook plays here with the Arc Stars. Takes 2 players weak. Does take a decent amount of damage over towards the side. But that's more than enough for Team Liquid to answer. And it's up to GreekGod. And that's just not going to be enough. That's what I want to see from Team Liquid. Or just really anyone in general. buy grenades, force players off their spot, and they will be surprised at the amount of damage that comes through. Great job by Team Liquid.
Absolutely love that from Liquid as well. Considering the position they were in, you see a lot of teams when they're on match point, on series point, slow things down, try and wait for the initial damage, but they took advantage of an opening that was presented to them, and then they got aggressive. They pushed upon it, and they didn't let the fact that, you know, that could have been a play that went wrong that cost them a series really get into their mindset there, Tom. And I love it when you see players taking risks in big moments, because it's more often than not that risk does pay off.
And it's win by 2, or if it goes to round 9, that is the sudden death match. You can see it's a best of 5 at the bottom. We're all tied up 2-2, and now we're all tied up 3-3 in these rounds. The big question is how many grenades were purchased for each player. Girl was talking about the value of those, and they really are. The later we get into the rounds, the larger the value, especially when teams and players start to posture like this. Early grenade being used from Fun. Let's see if that one connects. Kind of a prayer right there. Hard angle to go and try to utilize. Nocturnal is away from his team again. So it's Greek and Nocturnal both separated. It's up to the other duos to kind of work together. And we'll see if Nocturnal wants to get aggressive. He actually pushes across. And while that's happening, the other player is going to make their way down towards the low ground. He takes that player down to no shields, takes himself down to no shields as well. Fun's going to pick up the pill, and they are going to reset. But it looks like Fun's interested in pushing this. This pace is fairly fast.
Yeah, Fon's the furthest player up on his team at the moment as far as, you know, in being involved in a battle with the Charlotte Phoenix player. So he's having to have his head on a swivel. Greek's going to be able to get this care package, though. And what's going to be in it? Oh, my word. What a moment. However, Kotigami going to be taken down, and even though GreekGod's managed to get the Kraber in his hands,
Kraber time.
There's a player right in front of him, so he's going to have to hit one of these shots to even things up here. A massive moment in this game. He manages to do a decent amount of damage with the Eva 8, but the Kraber is going to be the great equalizer here if he even gets to fire a shot, as it looks like Liquid are trying to chase down his teammate here.
He's going to have to just go for some crazy no-scopes here. I'm surprised that he's even going for the Eva 8. Now he's going to do for the quick scope right there on the Fun. Not going to connect. Unfortunately, it takes so long to get that Kraber back out, and Team Liquid going to take advantage. So that's such an unfortunate situation right there. You really feel confident going over towards that care package, but while that happens, one of your players gets dropped. Maybe a little miscommunication, maybe just some mental error from overextending, and now Team Liquid waiting for their opportunity to close this one out.
Charlotte Phoenix, a few rounds ago, only needed one to close out the game, close out the series, and to put it to bed. Now Liquid find themselves in that position. A round win here for Team Liquid, and they will be the series winners. What a way the arenas can turn around. And it's going to be interesting to see how they play this one as well, because mentally, you got to think Charlotte Phoenix are going to be very much on the back foot now, Tom, especially after being so close to closing this series out just a few moments ago.
Both teams doing the same exact thing. Octane jump padding. One player is going to zip line across from each team. That's going to be 2 actually going on over from Liquid, as the smoke is going to be used. Last time we saw this, we saw some God grenades coming out from the Team Liquid side. And look at this. They actually purchased 3 here. So I would expect to see some off of the backboard grenades here through the smokes to see if they connect. And there's 30 damage. A couple more grenades in Fun's back pocket if he wants to go and use that. I would love to see him just throw both of those together, though. We saw how well that worked, I believe, for Flanker before, where he chucked one arc star, chucked another, and we were talking about how one moves a player to the other position, and that's why you grenade both positions. There it is. Nocturnal tossing a couple of them. That's how you do it. Just start chucking those things.
He's going to get the stun and the damage onto Kotigami as well, and that might allow his teammates to move up and finish off that kill. It's not going to allow them to get the kill, but they have got complete control of the high ground now. But look at this. Liquid having to retreat because a couple of players from Charlotte Phoenix had managed to retreat themselves. Fun now in a 1v1, but here comes the rest of Liquid. They'll make that into a 2v3 in their favor. Liquid with the first kill here.
I love this play right there. Coming through, not only that, getting the flush so they can't give information, and then dodging their grenade. Still more grenades in Liquid's back pocket, and that was just so huge to keep those players honest throughout all of this. And Nocturnal's gonna find a Kraber to give them a little bit more of an advantage. Problem is, with the Kraber, though, if you're not hitting your shots, you're basically making it a 2-on-2, which is not what you want to do. I would love to see Nocturnal even just go for the R301 here. Bangalore ult is gonna be used, gotta dodge that one. Reset here. if your Team Liquid do exactly what Ghost Gaming did so well in the previous match. There's a huge headshot right there coming in onto Greek. 3v1 for Liquid. That should be all she wrote. 145 on a stink as well. Team Liquid looking strong here to close this one out.
Well, good night, Charlotte Phoenix. Nocturnal has put you to bed. Stink goes down, and Liquid will clutch up as the Kraber has a huge effect here in our final round of our final game. What a way to close things out. I've got to say, Kraber in Arena seems pretty strong, and you've just seen a good example of it there, but putting it to use, as always, is the name of the game, and the Kraber, well, it wins you a series.
I was super sad, though. Charlotte Phoenix didn't have a chance to utilize their Kraber that they got out of the drop. That was a big moment. Unfortunately, Team Liquid was ahead of the game. They knew they had the pressure up. As soon as that drop was picked, they said, let's go for it. They did so and ultimately paid off. But Nocturnal with the Kraber, it was lights out. Those connections were beautiful and ultimately ended up being the undoing of Charlotte Phoenix. But Charlotte Phoenix put up a great fight. You know, it's unfortunate they do lose the series after, you know, really mounting a major comeback. Obviously, 2 maps in a row after they lost the first initial 2. Team Liquid just about lets the series slip through their fingertips. But, you know, Tom, I'll go to you. I mean, would it have been a big surprise if Charlotte Phoenix would have ended up taking map number 5 instead of Team Liquid?
Definitely, because the reverse sweep is not easy to do, especially against a team like Liquid. But I would say this series showed great mental fortitude from both of these teams. I mean, to go down 2-0 and end up making a comeback and almost winning that thing on the final rounds, that's phenomenal. But also for Liquid to keep their cool and to kind of stop the push. Great teams are going to make their push. You just have to stop them and then create your own, and that's exactly what Liquid did. You really thought that right here, once they started utilizing the longbow and GreekGod was putting in work, that things were going to change. But these grenades right there and this play from Charlotte to kind of split up after those grenades went off was the undoing of them, and Flanker really gained a lot of momentum for Team Liquid just based on that play alone. So unfortunate situation for Charlotte Phoenix, but still some positives to take away, and it's not over for them yet. There's still a lot more pool play rounds to be played.
And nades are so important. I think they're underutilized, honestly, in pub play. I mean, what is not underutilized sometimes in pub play? But regardless, though, nades, especially in pros' hands, are incredibly effective. Not only to, you know, get that additional damage, but naturally to, and these shots were just, ugh, it's so disgusting. But the nades, obviously, to even disperse the team, as you said, Tom, you know, to be able to split them up and then ultimately be able to isolate them 1-to-1 is a brilliant thing. So very well done from Team Liquid. Their first challenge, you know, no offense to Xset by any means, but as you said, Onset, this was their first challenge, and it seems they ended up on top. So well done to them. So how do you think Team Liquid looks? Because they still have one more map to play. We know now they're 2-0 in their pool, but a bit of almost a scary situation for them. You know, Charlotte Phoenix almost reverse comebacking. So do you think Team Liquid looks to be in good form, or do you think maybe they're looking a bit shaky?
I think they do. Charlotte Phoenix, a very, very good squad. We have to give them all the credit in the world. And one thing that really stood out to me that kind of changed the pattern of that game was Liquid's ability to get those care package weapons towards the end. We saw in the highlights that the Devotion having a big impact. That got them 2 of their initial kills. And then the Kraber at the end, of course, to close things out. So once again, we're starting to see things evolve, see things develop. And I think that Liquid are one of those teams who are starting to pick up on these things very, very quickly.
Well, you love to see it. I mean, Team Liquid personally is a favorite organization of mine. I'm usually supporting them throughout all of esports, but they seem like they're well on their way to bracket play tomorrow. Still a lot to be seen, though, if Charlotte Phoenix will make it. I'm sure they will. 1-1, not a bad spot to be in, but their next matchup is going to be that much critical now that they have to win. But coming up next is going to be an important matchup. It's going to be Ghost playing against 2 MMK, 1 Rolla, so 2 mouse and keyboard and then 1 controller. It's going to be the to decide the winner of Pool C. So a very, very critical matchup for these two. You don't want to miss out. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.